So for this week's journal assignment, I will be discussing a recent patient encounter where there was actually a family that was being seen by the psychiatric nurse practitioner. It was a mother and three of her children, one boy and two girls. The little girl was being seen at this time, and they were discussing her medication and how effective it had and hadn't been for her. She was 12 years old, and she had been taking Adderall. The medication seemed to not have been helping her a lot. She had some poor focus and a hard time with like conversations and being able to actually have a full conversation with someone without like kind of going away to something else. The mom said that was very noticeable and that the dad was also noticing it a lot with her. She was taking the medication before they went out for school. It helped a little bit in school, but they just don't feel like it helped her a lot. The nurse practitioner also sees the brother, and she asks the mom how she felt about the other medication that the siblings were on. And one of the good things I did notice when she first started with everyone, she asked if you guys, you all don't have to be in here at one time. If you want privacy, that's okay. It's okay for you to have privacy because you may feel like you can open up more when it's just, yourself and I. But they did agree that they were all comfortable and they wanted to all stay in the office at one time but be seen separately, was spoken to separately. So I think that was a very great thing because the nurse practitioner did establish that privacy for them, HIPAA. And as I go on with the conversation, the young lady who was taking the medication that wasn't working, when the nurse practitioner asked the mom about the medication the other kids were taking and how effective it was, the brother had been taking Vyvanse. He had been taking this medicine for a while and it was very much effective for him. So she notified the mom that she wanted to change the medication to Vyvanse for the young lady to see if that would be effective for her. She became very upset. She started to act her age, 12 years old. She's like, why do I have to be on that medicine? Because my brother's on that medicine. And she's like, well, honey, let me explain it to you, which is a nurse practitioner. She said, you're not going on the medication because your brother is taking it in a way where you're just doing what he's doing, because we're trying to find out what is the best way to make you better and make you able to concentrate better at home and at school. With genetics, it is very likely that if a medication was effective for a sibling of yours, with you all having the same mother and father, genetically, it is also possible that that medication would be effective for you. And she still was like, okay, all right, I gotta do everything he does. I'm like, no. I said, well, let me explain something to you, which is where I felt like I used my therapeutic use of self and show my strength during the assessment. I notified her because I know with this new generation, everything is about technology. I'm like, well, honey, there are so many different articles out there that explains to you why genetics is so significant when it comes to prescribing medication. I said, those same genetics is also a reason why yourself and your brother are both here in the office with the same diagnosis. Because of y'all genetics, he has ADHD as well as you have an ADHD, and that is another reason why the medication can also be effective for the both of you. So when you get home, just go online and just read up on some articles about medication for ADHD and other diagnoses, and how when you and someone else share the same genetics, a lot of times the same medication helps you, just like you being diagnosed with the same disorder. And she said, okay. And she said she would go home and she would do some research and she would go on her laptop from school and look up and see some things. I felt like it was a very good assessment because not only was there education provided, which plays such a significant role with the nurse practitioner, the education she provided, as well as understanding the age of the patient that you have, and you have to talk with them on the level that they're on. You have to understand each patient. Now, if an adult have said something simple as, "Well, I have to do everything she do," it would have been different. But for a 12-year-old, you have to understand that is mentally where they are, where they feel like it's a copycat thing versus them getting the best help that they needed, which is why she was provided education as well as notified about some resources she could go online and find herself, and also described about why she and he both had ADHD as well from genetics. I do plan to use all of these different types of educational tools when I get on my own and start to work in the future. I do plan to tell my patients to not only go by what I'm telling them and listen to what they're learning during our assessment, but to also go out and research for themselves, as long as they're using articles that are peer-reviewed articles and things that are, resources that are actually credible, which is what I also notified the young lady. I think it was a very good assessment. I learned a lot from the assessment. The insight that I got from it was to always listen to your patients, understand your patients, and provide as much information as you can so that they can understand where you're coming from on a professional level as well as on a personal level. such as a young lady being upset about her having to do something that her brother did. And that's about it. Thank you.